You are about to enter Chuck versus the podcast, the place for people who love Chuck and the people who work on Chuck. The only show that takes you behind the scenes with the stars.
Yvonne Strahovski.
Zachary Levi. Joshua Gomez.
Ryan McParland.
Adam Balba.
Sarah Lancaster.
Interactive interviews.
Julia Ling.
Phil Clemmer.
All the cast.
Dixon High. Tony Hale. Scott Krinsky. Mark Christopher Lawrence.
Anita Friederici.
Fun hosts.
This is Mel. This is Liz. Now you can see how wacko we are.
The writers.
Ali Adler. Scott Rosenbaum. Zev Barrow.
The editors.
Matt Barber. Jeff Granville. Kevin Mock.
Contests.
We are giving away a Chuck press kit.
The directors.
Jason Ensley. Norman Buckley.
The guest stars.
Steve Austin.
Kristen Group.
The music.
This is Tim Jones.
Guest hosts.
I'm Kaylee from Toronto.
Conventions.
Lights come up, and here comes Jester out on stage.
Set visits.
This is the guy right here.
And much more. Are you ready? This is Gray.
This is Mel.
This is Liz.
And we want to welcome you to Chuck versus the Podcast, episode 72 for Thursday, November 4th, 2010. My wrist is feeling a lot better, but people told us that they really liked this new Brady Bunch format, so we're going to stick with it. And we have an amazing episode of Chuck to talk about. First, we got the news. Mel?
Our first news item is the ratings for Chuck versus the First Fight. They're in, and Chuck inched up in that all-important 18 to 49 advertiser demo. Yay, finally!
Woohoo!
We've been sitting at 1.9 for the last 4 weeks, and this week it jumped up to 2.0, which is quite a feat to be doing that in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Approximately 5.4 million people tuned in to watch Timothy Dalton, Linda Hamilton, and Anna Gasteyer throw down with our heroes. That is an excellent way to kick off November sweeps, so we're pretty excited.
Yep, very much so.
Yeah, can't wait to start talking about it. Well, we had some interesting things going on. Monday morning, we announced the tickets for San Diego Comic-Con 2011 went on sale, but within a few hours of that announcement, their site crashed.
Wow.
Does that tell you how popular this event is? I'm telling you. Anyway, if they're going to announce on November 8th, they're going to announce when they're going to sell the tickets again. So keep your eyes on chucktv.net for that announcement. And when it's announced, have your finger on submit. Just have it, seriously, they go that fast. And, it'd be fun to see all you guys out there. So,
yeah. And speaking about websites crashing, and many of us have bad experiences with CAPTCHAs. And specifically are going cross-eyed now. And that's because Chuck fans spent the last couple of weeks logging thousands of votes for Chuck to appear on the cover of TV Guide magazine. That poll concluded Monday night, and the winner will be revealed on the December 13th issue of TV Guide, which goes on sale December 6th. So it's pretty cruel, but we have to wait about a month to see the results. But I just want to personally say how thankful I am. Chris Fedak actually originally emailed me and asked to tweet about it to get the fans involved. And I saw people tweeting like my 200th vote, my 300th vote. Like people were taking time off work to vote. I mean, crazy dedication by Chuck fans.
That's to be expected, though. Chuck fans, they answer the call.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know. I was seeing some people in my Twitter feed letting me know that they had voted, 1,000 times on Monday was their goal. And, I've already hit 750. And
wow.
It's like, whoa, go soak your hand in some Epsom salts, guys. You deserve it.
We'll have a herd of wrist injuries after that.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not going to be alone there, Gray.
Yeah.
I saw a late tweet come through last night. I was up pretty late last night, and somebody said, I'm just so tired. I can't do it anymore. I got to go to bed.
Yeah, it was like everybody was guilty about going to bed that last night.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that that's something you could call in sick for, though.
No.
Well, speaking of dedication, there's a pair of organizations offering Chuck goodies to raise money for charity. The Kenmore Rescue, we've talked about them before. They're in L.A. It's one of Yvonne Strahovski's pet projects, no pun intended. It's where she adopted her dogs. And speaking of pets, I apologize if my cat Basil apparently has missed me today, and so he's climbing around back here. So sorry about that, guys. Kinmar Rescue is hosting a silent auction at their wine, cheese, and chocolate extravaganza. That's
Yum.
November 13th. I know. The event will feature Yvonne Strahovski and Julia Ling. Plus, you can bid on a basket of Chuck goodies, including the Season 3 DVD, a black t-shirt, orange shoelaces, they're with Chuck on them, and signed photos of the cast. You can also bid on signed Chuck posters. They're going to have 3 different posters there signed by Chuck cast members. So tickets to the event, I believe, are still available at their website, which is kenmarrescue.org. And we encourage you guys to check that out if you're going to be in the vicinity. I know it's the weekend after Chuck Fest, so if any of you guys are still around, you might want to check that out. Also, ZacharyLeviFan.com is hosting a fundraiser for Operation Smile, which is Zachary Levi's charity of choice. And you can donate through their Crowd Rise page, and you'll be entered to win a prize pack. This one's huge. It's all 3 seasons of Chuck on DVD.
Wow.
There's Nerd Machine shirts. Buy more items like the mug and magnets and a bunch more. It's a huge prize pack. So visit ZacharyLeviFan.com for more details and to donate. Every time you donate through CrowdRise, the link's on their website. You are entered to win.
Very cool. Those sound really neat.
Yeah.
Well, here's some news I've been really, really excited about. And we've been seeing the commercials and the previews and trailers for it all through Chuck when we were watching Chuck last night. Zachary Levi voices Flynn opposite Mandy Moore's Rapunzel in Disney's new animated film Tangled. I'm so excited about this movie. You can hear the two Mandy and Zachary sing duet from the soundtrack. It's posted on chucktv.net. And the movie opens November 24th. So just in time for Thanksgiving weekend. I'm there.
Oh, absolutely.
Me too.
Yeah. I have to confess, I didn't see the Squeakquel.
No.
I didn't either.
But this one, and I listened to that song. I knew that he could sing, but he was really good.
Yeah.
And apparently he's pretty good with the bow and arrow. If you watch the Disney Channel. Disney 325 or something like that. I just watched it only about an hour ago. It was on. He was on with the Mandy Moore and a couple of the other kids.
Very cool. Yeah, I love that behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
But moving on, it was Halloween this week, and we've asked people to send in their Halloween costumes for the podcast, and we got some really, really cool ones. I'm going to put one of me, first of all, even though it's not actually a Chuck costume. I do want to say it's legitimately here because it's kind of the whole story of Greatest American Hero, if you remember it, was kind of a nerdy guy who was endowed with special abilities and had to fight terrorists and federal crimes and stuff. So it kind of goes along the theme of Chuck being a nerdy guy having powers and fighting terrorists and stuff. But
yeah, he was a Chuck character.
Yeah, he was. Yep. And we're also going to roll a whole bunch of other photos that fans sent in. Thank you so much for sending in these photos of not just Chuck uniforms, but pumpkins you'll see here in the podcast. And some really, really neat stuff. I don't know about you guys, but I just have a lot of fun dressing up for Halloween.
We don't dress up, so yeah. We just one year I went as a girl with orange socks. This year I went as office worker.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the Jim Halpert school of costumes for Halloween.
Well, it's when you have young kids, they just beg you to dress up. So might as well do something that's fun.
Yeah. My kids dressed up for the first time, but it was for another event before Halloween. But we had some good times on Saturday. We went out, took the kids around, and they don't go trick-or-treating. They've never gone trick-or-treating.
Oh, really?
No, they've never gone. And we do other things. We have a tradition that we do every year, but which they actually love. But this year we couldn't do it, so they went around, and my son comes running up to me after about an hour of this. And he comes running up to me, "Mom, candy, and it's free!"
Yeah, my daughter honestly came home with a heavy bag, like for me, a heavy bag of candy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And actually, the funny thing, going back to the Greatest American Hero, is only the old people recognized my costume. Like, kids No way. But there were a group of old people walking along, like I'm talking 50s, and they pointed at me. They were laughing. They started singing the song. That made it all worthwhile.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Greg, you're going to owe me some M&Ms.
Yeah.
Calling 50 old people.
Yeah. Well, that was Halloween, and now that Halloween's done, I'm sure you can see that Christmas stuff is already in the stores. And if you're thinking about doing some early Christmas shopping, I wanted to give you some ideas. And that is that, I don't know if you noticed, but Amazon.com and Amazon.ca both recently lowered their shipping rates. So that now, if you have an order of only $25, you get free shipping. And so when you think about it, I know one of the worst things about Christmas shopping is fighting the crowds and fighting for parking and trying to get through the traffic. It can make Christmas not so fun. And so why not order from Amazon.com and Amazon.ca? But first go to the chuckpodcast.com site and get the link. Anything you buy at Amazon.com or .ca can help the podcast, and we'd love it if you would. Also, I've recently expanded. The Chuckazon is not just for the US, but also for Canada now. So there's a Chuckazon Canada link at chuckpodcast.com. And there's also a whole bunch of new sections at Chuckazon, not just Chuck DVDs, but there's also a TV on DVD section with some great deals on box sets for TV shows that are of interest to Chuck fans, and also movies that might be of interest to Chuck fans. There's also a section for iPods and Kindles and a whole bunch of other stuff that you might find neat. And at any time that you're at Chuckazon, at any time, if you want to continue your order on the main Amazon site, just click on the Amazon.com or the Amazon.ca link on the sidebar, and you'll go to the main site, but you will still carry your Chuckazon stuff with you, and anything you buy at that point still helps us. So a lot of people were tweeting and emailing because they were confused about that. You absolutely can shop on the whole site, and it still helps us out and helps you out because you don't have to pay that gas and parking and fighting the traffic and mobs for Christmas time.
That's
Right
cool.
on. And, they usually have their prices lower than what you'd even get at Walmart. So,
Yeah, I've found some crazy deals at Amazon.
Although, as a person who works at an independent local bookstore, I would encourage you to still get your books at your local independent bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
But your DVDs, Go to Chuckazon. Get a deal.
Yeah, very cool. And I have no idea how to segue appropriately. So let's just say that this week's episode of Chuck versus the First Fight, written by our favorites, Rafe, Judkins, and LeFranc, was awesome. A lot of people are saying it's one of their favorites of the whole series.
Oh, yeah. Top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Timothy Dalton. Oh, my goodness. What do you guys think?
I'm so glad you guys finally got to see this. I'm so glad it finally aired.
Yeah.
That twist that he was Volkov.
Yeah.
I've known that since the set visit, and I couldn't tell anybody.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, it's just been, and so I haven't been participating. I've had a couple of people private message me or email me and say, why aren't you participating in many of the discussions in the forum? This is why. Because I was afraid I was going to spill something, and it was just too good. It was too good.
Well, and the thing is, like, I thought there was a twist coming. And okay, like in the beginning with the sweater and him being so klutzy, I thought, I mean, this is hilarious. I love the alias line and the airplane and just everything about him was hilarious. And I thought, okay, there's a twist coming. Like he's going to be this expert MI6 agent or something. And really he's just faking that he's clumsy. But I had no idea that was Volkov.
I had no clue. I thought that was his character.
Yeah.
Like the Beautician and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of goofy. After a while, he got kind of goofy. But when he came, they show that shot of him starting from the shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Going up. And he's in the suit. I'm like, oh my.
Yeah.
There he is. I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. With the accent and everything. I couldn't believe it. I thought, wow, you couldn't have. I don't know. I can't say this is my favorite from all 3 seasons, this is my top favorite episode.
Wow.
I have to say. Yeah. I mean, it just everything. I loved everything about it. The score playing in the background, the fight scenes were awesome and funny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, mixing their fight in the middle of fighting the bad guys was brilliant.
Yeah. The fight within the fight.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was brilliant. Linda Hamilton, she was just so amazingly wonderful in this episode. I was watching her when she was talking with Ellie, and her facial expressions were just so, I was in tears. I was crying.
Yeah.
I couldn't, we were in chat. I couldn't see the keyboards. I gave up.
And then she gets the letter, and we have Scott Bakula giving the voiceover. That's when I lost it.
Yeah.
I was done there. But yeah, that was amazing. And I was thinking about it later that I think that Mary Bartowski had prepared herself to deal with Chuck. So she was able to compartmentalize. Mm-hmm. And she knew she had to, as we could see, her mission was to make sure that Volkov did not know that Chuck was her son. And, she had a couple of things that she was trying to take care of here, but she wanted to keep him safe and keep Ellie safe. And she was going to do that by dealing with Charles Carmichael, who is not her son. And so she had herself prepared for that. And then she first encounters Morgan. Mm-hmm. And you can see a little bit of her reserve crumble there. And then she talks with Ellie. And, you really saw the mom that we saw in that flashback. Mm-hmm. You really saw her there. But then as soon as she walks out, as soon as Casey came in, which I thought was a really sweet scene too, he was so very gentle about it. Mm-hmm. As soon as he came in to get her and they went out, bam, she's right back into spy mode.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like a shutter. You could kind of see the door shut on whatever she was doing with Ellie so that she could be the spy again.
Well, and I know we've talked a lot about Yvonne Strahovski's ability to act just with her face in those subtle expressions. And I think we have another one with Mama B. I mean, she is excellent at that.
Yeah, I liked how she connected with Ellie. It wasn't a big hug and, oh, I'm so sorry. It was right away talking about a memory, a memory that was precious to her. And that's how they connected.
And a memory that actually was a direction.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That was very clever.
And that was neat. I mean, we had a couple of neat things at the end with that car. Beautiful car, by the way.
Yeah.
and that thing underneath, and then with the whatever thing that flashed to Chuck. Now, what do you guys think about that? Because
I was just going to ask you.
She says something really weird there. Your father didn't think you were ready for this or something?
She says your father never wanted you to see this.
Oh, never wanted you to see this. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we saw in the flashback at the end of season 3 that Chuck kind of stumbled on the first intersect, and intersected himself, and Steven comes in and he's upset. And then we saw in season 2, when we first meet Steven and he finds out that Chuck is intersected, he is working to help him de-intersect. Mm-hmm. So, and then when he returns in season 3 and finds out that not only is Chuck re-intersected, but he's de-intersect 2.0, he's very disappointed in that. So my take on the reason they had her say that was to let us, the audience, know that this was something that she was not de-intersecting him. She was adding something. So I think my take on it was that she was adding something. It was some sort of an upgrade using a PlayStation Pro. Yeah. So she was adding something to the intersect, but he doesn't know how to access it yet.
Right.
Because
now, my thought initially when she did that was she was turning him into a bad guy or something.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so now, but it was like, boy, is she this evil person and she's turned him to evil? But
they kept you guessing the whole episode, didn't they?
Yeah.
And, in last week's episode and then this week's episode, just back and forth and back and forth. And the thing is that Linda Hamilton plays good and bad so well that I still don't have a clue. I mean, she may be a villain, but with a soft spot for her children.
Mm-hmm.
Or she may be a good guy in a terrible situation, and she's just trying to make the best of it.
Yeah, I was thinking, because I was convinced that she was actually going to turn out to be a bad guy until the end there when she slipped the blade to Sarah. But it makes me think, though, if she has to play that part the way she does for Volkov, how dangerous is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
She obviously knows what he can do, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And here we have Chuck, who's just spent 123 miles in the back of the sheep truck telling Volkov all about his relationship with Sarah.
Oh, my goodness.
So I don't think that Mama Bartowski knows this, but it has to be a good thing that he thinks that Chuck and Sarah are dead. Otherwise, look at all the leverage he now has.
Yeah.
Over Chuck, because that's how he feels about Sarah.
Yeah, though he doesn't know that she's his mother.
Oh.
Which is huge and very important.
That's a strong mark in Mary Bartowski's favor.
Yeah.
For being a good guy.
Yeah.
Girl. Woman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, super, super episode for setting up the future and all these questions and a great episode to leave for a 2-week break. As much as we don't want a 2-week break, this is the kind of episode to leave on for a 2-week break.
Yeah.
The one.
And how about that scene with Morgan and the earpiece?
Oh, I laughed so hard in that one.
You know, you could see it coming. You knew it was going to happen, but you're just like, oh, come on, Morgan. No.
Yeah. When the bartender refills his water.
It's just, yeah. Poor guy.
Oh my goodness.
He tries. Yeah. I just loved how he just couldn't stop talking with Chuck and then, asking him what's on the menu, what's their special.
Not here to eat, Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there were so many fantastic lines in this episode. I think my favorite, though, is, ooh, tiny weapon standoff.
Oh, my goodness. That was hilarious.
The night before on Sunday night, I had a dream that I had suddenly grown a unibrow and I couldn't find any tweezers. And I woke up in the morning and I was like, what in the world? What kind of a dream is this? And then I realized, oh, well, of course, it's because of the Chuck episode. Because Anna Gasteyer had told us about, she was in full makeup when we interviewed her. She had given us, she was not coming right out and saying it, but it was pretty obvious what the tiny instrument of torture was going to be. So,
oh, that was hilarious.
So yeah, that was my, apparently I was really, really anxious to see this episode. My subconscious wanted it to happen.
Uh-huh.
But I wanted to share with you guys also, I tweeted from the set that I'd just seen a blooper moment and I couldn't say what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But now that the episode has aired, of course I can. In that scene where they're Sarah and Mary and Tuttle and Chuck are running from behind the pillar around the little balustrade, the little railing, and then hiding behind that first. I don't know what you call these things in a bank. I do online banking now, so I don't know what this stuff is. Those tall tables where you make out your deposit slips and everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They had run behind that one. So they were practicing that, and she was still in handcuffs. Linda Hamilton was in handcuffs still, but she was in her stocking feet because they were just rehearsing.
Mm-hmm.
And they come, and it's a tight squeeze because this is a real bank. This isn't a set that's built to accommodate this kind of action and the cameras and everything. So it's a tight squeeze to get them around through that little opening and then behind this desk, let's call it. And so they had done it a couple of times, and she's got this long hair that keeps falling forward, and she's supposed to scoot in between Sarah and Tuttle. And the third time they did it, she tripped right over Timothy Dalton, face plant.
Oh my.
Yeah, and this is a marble floor.
Yeah.
She face plants,
Ow.
and then she comes up cracking up. She was laughing so hard. And the rest of us are like, oh my gosh, she just break her nose. And she was laughing so hard. And they had to, try it again. And the second time, the time after that they tried it, she she couldn't stop laughing, and everybody started cracking up. She couldn't.
Uh-huh.
She was laughing so hard, but that was
My
the
kind of
blooper.
girl.
Yeah, that's a pro right there. I mean, there was no padding or anything, and she took a hard hit, but she came up laughing and went right for it again.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yep.
it really looks like she's enjoying it, and I can't remember where I saw an interview with her about it, but the way she's talking, she just loves working on this show.
She really does. She was, when we were talking to her, it was obvious just watching her that she was really excited about it, really happy about it. And then we asked her about it, and she was just like, oh yeah, I'm ready for this too. At that point they hadn't had the extra episode pickup. And we asked her, how many episodes are you going to be in? And she said, at this point it's between 4 and 7. They don't know for sure, but I'm hoping we get, they get the back 9 pickups so I can be in the rest of those, and then another 10 seasons. And like,
I really hope they don't kill her off. I mean,
Oh, me too.
that's what she was saying too. She's like, I just don't kill me in this episode. Just don't kill me in this episode. So she's in it for the long haul. If they'll have her, she's in.
well,
Oh,
she's such a mysterious character. You can tell that they can just pull layer after layer after layer out of it, and still have more to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, there's 20 years of her life that we don't know about. Not to mention the time before that.
Mm-hmm.
She was a spy and a mom and a wife. What was going on there, and how did she meet Stephen Bartowski? Now that's a quibble that I have with this episode, and it's minor, but in an episode that was darn near perfect, why did we cut to music when she was talking to Ellie? I wanted to hear that. I wanted to hear that story.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear it.
That's so mean.
Well, that, like, the impression I got is she told Ellie a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know that it was to, simulate the passing of time, but I was sitting there going, no, turn down the volume. I want to hear.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
That'll be on the DVD.
I hope. Extra or something.
Yeah.
But also in that scene, we had Sarah sitting there listening.
Mm-hmm.
And, like we said earlier, Yvonne can do so much with just a facial expression.
Yeah.
And she was looking awfully wistful. That was what I thought. And I kind of was hoping that we'd get some mention of her own mother.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't.
See, that's not what I thought. I kind of thought that she was looking like, because she still doesn't trust Mama Bartowski at all. And she just totally has it fixed in her head that she's the bad guy. So it seemed to me like she was feeling bad for Ellie, that she knew what this woman was. And she knew that this woman wasn't going to stay around. And, I don't know. I just think that the friendship between her and Ellie is such that she might have felt a little protective. That's the way I saw it.
Interesting. What do you think, Greg?
I get that sense from her too, that she still sees Mama B as a threat to the most important thing in her life.
Interesting.
And she's cautiously changing that opinion, slowly changing that opinion, but still, I think she sees her as a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at that point she did still see her as a threat, but it seemed to me that she was softening towards her. That she was listening to Mary Bartowski explaining, I'm having such a hard time just calling her Mary.
Yeah.
She was listening to her explaining to Ellie what had happened, what had transpired to cause her to leave. And maybe she was starting to feel like, okay, I can relate to that. I'm a spy. I'm a woman. I have loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate to a situation where I have to make a difficult choice. I mean, we just saw her do it for 3 years. That was my take on it, that she was feeling just maybe a little bit of a softening towards her, and maybe a little bit wistful to be watching this emotional reunion between a mother and a daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you guys think she was being cynical.
A little. Well, you're cynical / wistful. Like wistful at looking at as dysfunctional as the Bartowski family was, it was still more of a family than she had.
Well, that's true. Yeah. So guardedly wistful.
Mm-hmm. Guardedly wistful. And I just loved Ellie in this episode. I think it was great to have her have so much more screen time and just involvement in the story. And now, what did you guys think about that thing in the car? Like, what on earth could that be?
I have no idea.
I think it's a backup of all of his files.
You think?
Yeah,
That's
somebody was saying that if Papa B was so smart, that wouldn't he have scanned all those files somewhere?
He has to have a backup. I mean, he was paranoia personified.
Mm-hmm.
He would not have had one single repository for all of that data. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would then mean that Mama Bartowski knew about it, and she wants Chuck to have the information.
I see. So that's why she was okay with blowing up the base, because she knew everything was backed up, and she provided the way for Ellie to find it.
Exactly.
Oh, that would make sense.
She made sure Chuck and Sarah could get out, and she made sure that he would have access to the information that she had just destroyed.
Very cool.
That's my guess. And I should say, you guys, at this point, I'm pretty much spoiler free. I don't have any advanced knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple little things, but nothing really important.
Well, I can say
so
that I'm
speculating,
spoiler free.
purely speculating. Yeah, it's purely speculating at this point. So,
well, I'm spoiler free.
Yeah.
I'm always spoiler free. I can't wait to see that whole car thing, and I hope they drive that car in the show. It's just a cool car to look at.
Isn't it great?
Oh,
yeah. And it's red, white, and blue. Did you guys notice that?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
It's got blue leather seats, and then it's red with the white racing stripes.
He's turning into the greatest American hero.
Gee, I wish my parents would give me a car like that.
No, right?
Yeah.
Full of top secret intel under the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just a couple of minor things. Morgan, I thought was great in this episode. I love the fact that he's growing in his confidence and that people are taking him more seriously. Mm-hmm. As much as he's still the butt of jokes, they still treat him with more respect now, which is great, I think.
I like that he was the one that cracked Mama Bartowski.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not great with the actual spy stuff, as we saw with the earpiece. But when it comes to interacting with people and with knowing how to get what he wants from somebody, he's able to do it. You know, even if it's Casey and we're having our first fight, you know, and he kind of keeps battering at him till Casey says, you know, come on, you don't have to stay in the van.
Yeah.
And Morgan, See, Morgan knows him well enough to know that that's an apology.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's his gift. I think that's Morgan's gift, is that he has these people skills, and they maybe aren't quite as tactful or smooth as we would like.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's uncomfortable, but in the end, he really does have extraordinary knowledge of how to handle people.
Yeah.
Well, and he also has that mind that's full of that useless information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a well of knowledge, and he can just pull it up at, you know, whenever he needs it. So that, coupled with the way he could, you know, his people skills, makes him better at, you know, I think that's his strength. And the gadget thing is just, as much as he thinks they're cool, they're just not going to be, they're going to be a block that he's going to trip over all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was just a throwaway, but when Chuck walked into the castle and there was all those random agents there, Tom and Jerry, and
and who was the third one? It was somebody else from a 60s show. I can't remember the name, but there was a third one. Yeah,
Tom and Jerry.
I think he was totally making up names, though.
I
don't think those were their real names. But yeah, that's pretty funny.
Ginger.
Yes, Ginger, Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. You know, those are the pop culture references that we've come to expect from this show. But how do you guys feel about having so many other people down in Castle? I mean, it's kind of been a secret hideaway, secret base, and now it's not so secret.
Well, I mean, I like the fact that it gives opportunities for, say, for instance, you can legitimately have a fight down there, and involve other agents. it gives kind of a bigger feeling to it, and also it gives an excuse. I know one comment that came was that at the Buy More, all of a sudden it looked like all of the CIA presence was gone. And they thought, oh, we set it up to be this CIA base. All of a sudden, where are they? Well, they've just moved downstairs.
Oh, right. So it's less obvious that they're, because it was too efficient and beautiful before.
It kind of makes it more believable, too. I mean, you can't just have this little nucleus, this little core of people running operations like this,
Right.
The natural order, the natural process would be that other people would come on board, especially with Beckman, behind these people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she's sending them in there to help where they need. They can't do it. It's only 4 or 5 people. They can't do it by themselves.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just not used to realism on my show. At least not in the spy aspect.
Yeah. Well, Tom and Jerry and Ginger. Like, it went by so fast. But what I love about Chuck, and somebody said this on Twitter, was that there are so many little tiny details like that make rewatching so fun.
Yeah.
Oh, we missed we didn't talk about Morgan and Sarah's little scene.
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking that, I was remembering that as I was watching that the first time, I was thinking, my goodness, they're exchanging this dialogue quickly.
Yeah.
They were bam, bam, bam. But that was a very funny scene.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, don't put your hand on my chest. Don't put your hand on my chest.
And how fast her shoe got to his throat.
Yes. Killer heels, baby.
Wow.
I've always wondered why spy women wear high heels, and I guess this is why.
Oh.
The stilettos, nasty stilettos.
Mm-hmm.
Woman's
and
weapon.
then her realization that Chuck has talked to Morgan and Ellie about this and not her. And she's like, but Chuck wants to talk about everything.
Yeah. And I have to say, think how worried everybody was about this fight. And
the fans.
Yeah. And how masterfully they made it a fun thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
someone had posited I think it was on the forum a few days before the episode aired. Someone said, I get the feeling that this fight's a bigger deal in the fans' minds than it is in the characters' minds. And they were spot on.
Yeah.
And I knew because I had seen them filming. What I had seen them filming was when they were fighting within the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching that, and then the whole, that's not fair, and you talk to everybody else, and those are the parts that I had seen, and I was pretty sure it was towards the middle of the episode. So I thought, I really don't think this fight's going to be as big a deal as everybody thinks it is. But since I didn't know, the ending of the episode, I couldn't just say it's not a big deal, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm glad to see that it turned out to be not so much. It wasn't a huge relationship issue.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Couples fight. It's how they, get used to each other. It's how they learn to be together. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Give them that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was done in a way that was amusing and appropriate.
Yeah.
I thought it helped kind of move the relationship along while we were having this huge progress in the spy storyline and the mythology. That's how I like to see them dealing with relationship issues. I mean, I've enjoyed the season so far. This, I think, is my favorite season to date. I hesitate to say that because to get to this point, you have to have had everything else that's happened.
Yeah.
So it just kind of feels weird to say this is my favorite because if we hadn't had season 1, then we wouldn't be here. But this has been a phenomenal season creatively. I mean, the new writers have just been, holy crap.
Oh, yeah. No worries there.
Out of the park.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, but we've dealt with so many relationship issues in the first 4 or 5 episodes of the season that it's nice to now see the spy storyline coming to the fore, but we don't lose the Chuck and Sarah storyline.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people, I heard some people say that Chuck is no longer the most interesting part of the show. I don't agree. I think they're very well servicing a lot of characters, and it's still about Chuck. And I haven't minded any of it. Like when you get to this point in the story, you have to get a little bit more into this character, a little bit more into that character, and you're going to have an episode that's all about Casey, and you're going to have an episode that's all about Sarah, and you're going to have an episode that's all about Morgan. And I like that. I mean, it gives more depth to the story.
Yeah, well, think how boring it would be if week to week, we were focused on one character.
Mm-hmm.
Same going back to the couples, the first fight, how boring would it be if we saw, actually how sickening would it be if we saw Chuck and Sarah every single week? Oh, I love you. Come on. Nobody does that.
No.
Yeah.
And in order to get to know our central character better, we do need to get to know the other people in his life.
Mm-hmm.
In order to see him from all angles, we need to see him not just as Chuck, but as the boyfriend and the colleague and the brother and the best friend and now the son.
Mm-hmm.
We need to see him in all these different ways to really understand the character.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Plus, he's surrounded by interesting people, and I would like to know more about them too.
Yeah, that's true. And now I just got this thought, and I don't want anybody to read into this because I don't know advanced spoilers, but I just had a thought. Whenever any show raises the stakes, they kill off a character. And I don't want them to kill off any character that they've got going on right now. Like, I hope they bring in a new character in the next couple of episodes so they can kill that character off. Don't kill the ones we have.
The red shirt guy.
Yeah, the red shirt guy.
Oh, yeah. Even Timothy Dalton's character, he was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see him now as Volkov. Some of the people in the forum have dubbed him Tuttlecop. He was so fantastic as Tuttle and then turning into Volkov.
Mm-hmm.
I find myself hoping that he's going to be a villain for a long, long time. There's so much story to mine there, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's, please stay around.
Yeah.
Plus, he's nice to look at.
So great job, Rafe Judkins and Lauren LeFranc.
Yay!
Yeah.
Much applause for them. That was sensational.
Yeah. Very, very good episode. And I can't wait for the next one. Man, and Honeymooners was one of my favorites for the whole series. Like, they're just batting them out of the park.
They are. They were not kidding when they said that they love the show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it shows.
Mm-hmm. And now we want to thank our sponsors, ielabs.com, makers of award-winning Action Blue AVC HD conversion software, which authors full HD videos on regular DVD discs. It even works with HD clips from the newest iPhone 4. You can get your free trial of the software at ielabs.com. We also want to thank moviemorons.com for supporting Chuck versus the podcast. Movie Morons is a podcast all about film. So if you are inclined to find out what movies you should be watching this fall, check out moviemorons.com. And SyrianJunkies.de. We want to thank them for supporting us as well.
Hello, this is Christina Caramel from Serienjunkies TV. Are you addicted to TV shows? Be our guests and learn the latest news and reflections on what's going on in the world of TV series. Well, our show is in German, but maybe you want to drop in anyway? Then visit www.serienjunkies.de and watch out for our video podcast. See you.
And we're back. And so that's almost all we have for this episode, but as many exemptions are happening, Chuck is not going to be airing next week, and so we will also not have a podcast next week. But we will be back the following week with plenty of Chuck goodness.
Woohoo! I'll miss it next week, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But remember, if you have any questions or comments to share, please email us at mail@chuckpodcast.com. Be sure to join us on Monday, chucktv.net on Monday, November 15th at 8/7 Central for the live chat during the new episode of Chuck. We have tons of fun in there.
Mm-hmm.
Really do.
And I'm glad now that the voting for the TV Guide cover is over, because it was hard to watch the episode and vote at the same time. All those captchas.
Try watching, voting, tweeting, and chatting.
Oh, man.
That was crazy. I had to watch it again.
Yeah.
Had to. Oh,
yeah, it was so hard. I finally gave up the last 10 minutes. I had to just leave the chat because I I couldn't do it all anymore.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So I can't wait to see what they've got November 15th. And now we've got consecutive episodes the 15th, the 22nd, and 29th, and then that's it till January.
That's what it looks like. Looking out at the schedule, I don't have a confirmation yet from NBC that we'll have 3 in a row in November, but we'll have at least 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be on hiatus for the holidays in December, which is normal.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back, I expect, like the second Monday in January.
Yeah, and so...
Because they've got to fit those... I mean, they still have a bunch of episodes they've got to air.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, oh, I can't wait. And to be paired up... So Mondays is going to be with the Cape, is it? Or what is going to be with it on Mondays?
We don't know because NBC also gave the event and Chase full season orders. So
okay, so it could be just the event still, which I'm loving the event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was pretty excited to see that full season pickup.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, that's all we've got before spoilers. So you know the drill. You can pull your headphones out. You can pause or stop the podcast now if you don't like the spoilers. But if you do, stick with us. We got them. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
And we're back. Mel, what have you got for us?
Well, we have the synopsis for episode 408, which is the one that airs on November 15th. It's Chuck versus the Fear of Death.
Ooh.
I know. The synopsis reads, Chuck fears that a major loss may end his spy career and his relationship with Sarah. I think you know what that is. It guest that stars Rob Riggle, Summer Glau, and Richard Chamberlain. And afraid that his latest setback is driving a wedge between him and Sarah, Chuck resolves to prove himself by going on a dangerous mission with the overeager Agent Rye, who's played by Rob Riggle. Meanwhile, Morgan and Casey scramble as the Bi-Morons attempt to uncover the true identity of Greta, played by Summer Glau. Vixa High, Scott Krinsky, and Benita Friederici also star. So it looks like we're gonna have a Bi-Mor spy plot woven in again.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I can't wait to see Summer Glau.
Yeah.
Oh, we already know that she and Adam Baldwin have scenes together, so there should be some Firefly crossover. I gotta wonder if she and, well, I guess Linda Hamilton's not in this episode, so there's no chance of a Terminator crossover.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh, she's just crazy talented. I loved her in the 4400, and loved her in Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles. Now I doubt we're gonna get that reunion. Well, not a reunion exactly, but a reunion of characters in that universe with Mama B. But she's just super, super talented.
Yeah. It's going to be good to see her.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah. Well, episode 409 is Chuck versus Phase 3. And the short synopsis is Sarah, Chuck, Morgan, and Casey head to the jungles of Southeast Asia when the Belgian, played by Richard Chamberlain, tries to learn more about the intersect. Ellie and Awesome try to decipher a secret her father had left behind. So more putting together of the puzzle there by Ellie. Pretty excited. And Richard Chamberlain, come on.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff.
I think we have a clue there about what's happened with Chuck, because if the Belgian is trying to learn more about the intersect, then somebody's got to have the intersect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I guess I'm just guessing that that's the episode when Ellie and Awesome discover what's in the car, and so I'm guessing that Chuck would not have seen that by that point.
That's my speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, there was a really excellent speculation. We've been wondering ever since they threw out the fact that Ellie was a neurosurgeon.
Mm-hmm.
We've been wondering, how does that can't be coincidence, no matter what they won't tell us in the interviews. That can't be coincidence that she's a neurosurgeon, that her area, her expertise is neuroscience, and here's Chuck with the intersect in his head. Mm-hmm. So there's been speculation that this is maybe how Ellie's going to be really brought into the spy storyline, is she's going to have all this data that somehow pertains to the intersect. And then she'll find out that Chuck has the intersect in his head, and she'll be able to be kind of his cue.
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Hoping.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
Wow.
And our last spoiler is episode 412, which I said this last time. I love the fact that 12 is still only halfway.
I know.
Probably airing in January, is titled Chuck versus the Gobbler.
No idea what that means.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try.
Since it's not going to be Thanksgiving, the only thing I could come up with was maybe they're at some sort of a competitive food eating contest.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing.
Yeah. And Chuck
I hope
flashes
not.
and is able to eat 100 hot dogs.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Although we
Let's not
did
go
just see
there.
him in the back of a truck with sheep. So it could be an actual turkey at this
could
point.
be. Now, something we didn't mention was Volkov holding that lamb.
A lamb. Don't
Oh.
mention mint jelly.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. And it went a long way to causing people to think that he was, the cuddly, bumbling Chuck season 1 type character.
Yeah. So I guess that's all we've got for the next 2 weeks. You'll see us 2 weeks from now. And do want to remind you, if you haven't gotten your November vote in at Podcast Alley, we are still looking for votes there. You can help support us that way. And do watch on Blip TV. That helps us too. So Until next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you then.
See you later, Chucksters.
Bye.